How can you train your own LoRa? Well, we'll continue using FLUXGYM and we'll start by uploading the images first. Regarding the images, it's important to note that ideally you should have at least 10 images and they must be of the same person, right? You want to train LoRa to generate images of that person from different angles with various poses and facial expressions, correct? I'm using 6 images for this tutorial, but ideally you'd want at least 10, okay? Also, you need at least 12 GB of VRAM. Don't worry, any GPU from a 1070 up should work fine. Okay, I've opened these 6 images here, showing the same girl from different angles, front and side poses, with and without a helmet, etc. Now let's start setting up the LoRa. First, we need to give our LoRa a name, right? Then what we're going to do is go to the trigger word section, and this will be the word we'll use to refer to the LoRa we've trained when talking to Flux, for example. When we talk to Flux, we'll use this trigger word so it understands we're talking about this person. So I don't recommend using the same name as the LoRa above, and also avoid using a generic name, okay? Don't just use girl. Use something more specific for better understanding. After naming it, the next step will be to choose the base model. I recommend FluxDev. It's incredible. We also used it in the tutorial we did before with Confio II. There we used FluxDev as the base, and we'll select the VRAM based on what we have and can support. Here in this section, basically, if the LoRa isn't working well, we could increase these 2 parameters to see if it improves, if it's not functioning as we wanted. Also, we'll set how many training steps we want it to do, right? I'll put 300 or even 350. This is the site database. I'd leave this as is. Here, what we can do is, if we want to monitor while it's training the model, see how it's going, and if it's working as desired, we can input different prompts to generate images doing those specific activities, okay? For example, as you can see, I've already input the sentences. It's important to note, use English and separate each sentence with a line break. Put each sentence on a new line like I did here. Now we can finally hit start to train this LoRa. But note that for more specific or complicated cases where it might not understand well what are you trying to train, you can add brief descriptions to each photo to help me understand them better. Finally, we'd click on Start Training. Now, as you can see, we'd go to the terminal section where it shows the percentage of how the model's training is progressing. Finally, I would have trained the LoRa model. Now we need to go to Files, click View Folder, then inside click on Flux and hit comma, then on Outputs. As you can see, here we have the folder Chica Tutorial, which is the LoRa model we've trained. We can go inside and here we'd have everything related to the training. We'd also have the sample prompts train we did earlier. For some reason, I don't know, it hasn't done it, but anyway, the next step would be to go to Forge and verify that the training has worked successfully.